What's up guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be playing with a brand that is completely new to me called Live Tinted. It's just kind of been in my periphery for a while, like you guys suggested a couple of things, etc. And then I saw that they were on Ulta and I was like, well that's easy, you know? And so I bought pretty much one of everything that looked relevant to me. And I thought that it might, like I never do a first impressions video, but I thought that this would be a cool one to do a first impression on because it is just basically like, as far as I can tell, a lot of pigment crayons. I don't know, it just feels like a thing that I want to do a first impression on, you know? Occasionally I like to do that. So I got the Hue Glow Face and Body. Don't know what any of this is. I got two of the Hue sticks, one in Perk and one in Purpose. And another one in Free? Did I mean to do that? Yeah, I guess I have three of them. We'll see how I can integrate all of them onto my face at once. And then I have the Unity Balm Gloss here in something. It might be clear. And then they sent, this was like a gift with purchase kind of thing. And it's got like a little brush and a headband. It's got wires in the bow so that I can really finesse that. No, I know that this is not how I'm supposed to wear it, but I just genuinely think I'm not supposed to wear it. Although it is kind of nice to have something squeeze my head like that. I love how I tried to keep this really calm and on the rails and it lasted less than 2 minutes. Oh, my grandmother would tell me I'm a bloomin' idiot. As much as that is a vibe, it is maybe not my vibe. So I'm gonna move y'all in and we're going to explore these products together and we will chat all together about Live Tinted. And then we'll probably go on the website and like see what this brand is about because the impression that I get is that it's clean beauty, but it's kind of just everywhere. You know what I mean? I've just seen it a lot of different places, so I wanna know what their deal is. Hi, today I opened a window because this is the hottest room in the house, so if you hear things, nature, airplanes, that's why. It's because I've got like a nice breeze circulating here. All right, so first and foremost, I have the Hue Glow Face and Body in Dawn. I don't know what that is. Is that a bronzer? You guys are gonna see me completely out of my element here. Ooh, neat. It's like a universal shimmer goo. And by universal, I mean it goes anywhere I want it, not necessarily universal skin tone wise. It does not have a fragrance. Something tells me that this is going to also be the clean beauty aesthetic, you know, as well as clean beauty ingredients, but my goodness, is that pretty. Let me see if there are instructions on that. It says, apply to face and body for everyday glow. Wear alone or over makeup. So I think we wear it alone. See how that looks. What do you think? It's definitely got like a really glossy, not super dry down kind of vibe to it, but that could be great for me today because oh my god, my skin is screaming. I tried a new retinol last night that came with my Dennis Gross mask. Like they had the full price mask and then they had the full price mask with a bunch of his skincare, like full size skincare to try. And it was the same price on Sephora. And so I just bought the one with all the skincare to try. Man, did I fall in love with those little peel sheets. I know that there are dupes for that. Let me know if you know of any because I'm very, very new to the whole brand and everything. But I tried his new ferulic and do you mind, Burb? I might have to close that window. I tried his new retinol and ferulic and y'all, it's clear, but it smells exactly like ketchup. Like aggressively of ketchup. Speaking of aggressive, whoa. Oh my god. I think I might have put on too much. I need a towel. Okay, so I got that in the shade Dawn and I'm like wondering now if I got the wrong shade, but maybe we just rub it in and don't use as much next time. but it does have a really, really nice kind of, okay, sorry bird, or sorry me, really. Nobody wants to listen to that bird squawk through my whole video and it makes it so I can't think. Anyway, so yeah, rubbed in what was left and it's really nice. I kind of imagine that this is what the In Beauty face glaze is like, but I'm not sure. I have had that in my cart and gone back and forth on it because honestly, face glaze just doesn't sound all that appealing to me. I mean, Ingrid and Kate both look amazing in it, but I don't know, man. I just don't know if like that's my specific thing. So we will try a little bit more of that once I get like complexion products on and stuff. They said that I can use it over makeup as well. And maybe it'll be more like a highlighter, but it is quite blushy. So maybe it'll be kind of like that. Nice packaging. I do enjoy the interaction with this. It's just kind of like a soft rubbery plastic and I like the copper top, but also I really appreciate such a small thing, but when something screws on and then just like gently snaps closed so you know that it's shut, Mom loves that. So yeah, I mean, I have a lot of products like that, you know, that I very cynically call shimmer goos. That is one of the dewier ones that I have ever tried. Like I still feel the glazed donut of it all on my skin. I think it looks fantastic, but it's just something that I have to be mindful of as I put the rest of my makeup on because it's just relentlessly slippy, you know? Like all the oily skinned people are like just clicking off the video right now. They're like, well, I don't need that. All right, so this is the Unity Balm Gloss. I guess that's gonna go last. Is that for my lips? Multi-purpose skin savior with conditioning balm shine gloss packed with hyaluronic acid, vitamin C, and E. Apply anywhere that craves moisture from lips to face to cuticles. Love that for me. Now, this one, yeah, Perk. I'm thinking that Perk was the one that I got with color correction in mind. They come, I mean, these are gorgeous, right? They're just this packaging is very, very pretty. It's this, what would you call that? It's like stainless steel, you know, the way that it kind of has that etching texture in it, but it's a copper color and they're metal. They're really, really pretty. The only thing that's a little aggravating is just like having to check the bottom of them to see what color it is, but like a lot of things are like that. So yeah, this is Perk. It's basically supposed to be like a nice peach color corrector. So it might be a little bit dark for that, but we'll see. So peach is going to kind of balance out sallowness, but also it just kind of cancels stuff out. You know, like if someone had stubble or something like that, this is going to add an opacity that makes it easier then to cover with a concealer or something without having to worry about like gray showing through. So it's kind of in the same idea, same vein as like the Becca color corrector or the Ulta one or the Beauty Pie one. It's just a little darker, which means it's probably for deeper skin, but all things considered, I think that we can make it work. Using my little Rare Beauty brush here. I kind of joked about it in my last video, but I did just watch Lisa Eldridge's patchwork makeup technique video. It was like a tutorial, and I just loved how, you know, she did it in real time. It was very, very step by step and very kind of following through her stream of consciousness, I guess, as it were, you know, as she was sort of analyzing her own face and what it needed. And what it struck me as was like a very painterly approach of kind of separating yourself from the idea that you're working on your face and that this product goes on this part of your face kind of thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna do it in this order and I'm going to layer these things because that's how I do my makeup. And instead just looking at your face as like colors and topography, analyzing what each specific spot needs and then feathering it all together. So that was cool. I thought that was really cool. And like, that's kind of what I just, you know, went into a flow state with and did for a second too. Although I do think that there is more on one side than the other side. I got a little scared. So that is the Hue Stick in kind of the color cancellation variety, and that came in like an orange box. The other ones came in white boxes, and I got 2 shades, Purpose and Free, We are free of purpose on this channel. I kind of think that I was going for something similar in each of these and I made them in separate orders, and so they might kind of not combine very well. My goodness, those are pigmented. Wow. Actually, I'm really glad that I got both. I'm not sure that I'm gonna be able to wear both at the same time, but this is a really good moment to teach color theory, right? Because you've got kind of a very cool leaning berry and then a warmer to neutral leaning berry. So this has more orange in it and this has more blue in it. Isn't that neat? So it's like, you know, if you kind of just looked at one or the other, you might say, oh, that really matches her nail color. But then you look at that one and you're like, oh, now that one really matches her nail color. Really, this is more of like a sangria color. It is a little bit more blue, but it's only really noticeable when they're in contrast to one another. Isn't that interesting? I think so. I think it's interesting. So I am going to start with those and then I'll go in with concealer and stuff after that. This is the BK Travel 107. And I just want to take a little bit of this, because I mean, wow, we are not messing around, guys. It's bright, bright, bright. And I want it to be so dispersed on those bristles that it pretty much just buffs on instead of even like placing it. And I want to make sure that it's like really dispersed on the brush. So I will probably use both because that's going to be a little bit too purple for me today. It's a really good thing to have in my collection, that very blackberry kind of color, but it is good to have because it's going to function as like a balancing shade. Kind of like when we were talking about the Dior blush in Pink 001, the Rosy Glow. It has a little bit of a learning curve to it because it is such a pure color that it has to be kind of combined with other things if you're wanting it to not be the star of the show. That's all, you know? Like if I were to make this the star of the show, I would then put it like on my lips and on my eyes and everything like that. So these are meant to be very like that, you know? Like they're meant to be just kind of multi-purpose sticks. But in the interest of making this look wearable, I don't really want to like do the full Nikki tutorials. Like my eye and my lip and my cheeks and my eyebrows are all the same color. All right, so now I'm going in with Purpose, which I think is gonna be a little bit more native to my skin tone, a little bit more fjordsy on me, but Ted, oh my God, Ted Buffalo Beauty Boy, good friend of mine, love him to pieces. He sent me the most delightful message the other day. It was delightful and delighted. He had found his Fjords shade. It was so cute. He found it in a rose ink blush and he was so like happy about it and was like, oh my gosh, Khaki, look, it looks like I just took a lap around the fjords and I'm so excited. This is the perfect color for me. And it absolutely was. He's a hairstylist and so he has, you know, color theory kind of in his day-to-day, and that was just really exciting for me to kind of watch somebody who shares that common interest with me get so excited about like nuance of color. All right, so I'm looking a bit feverish at the moment. These are very translucent and very highly pigmented, so they will probably work on like, I'm guessing this is probably like, I'm not sure, but I think it might be a Black-owned brand. Everything being so very pigmented, like it basically says to me like, I might not be your first customer that you have in mind, which is good. There should be brands like that. So I'm gonna just do my, you know, concealer routine and everything here. I'm gonna go, I think, with the Thrive concealer just because this is such a low-key look. I cannot get this off of my hand. I think I am going to be living tinted for the rest of my life. It's kind of a stain. I'm finally off my freaking period. My face broke out so bad this time and like, I don't know what it was. I was just very stressed and I couldn't leave him alone. And I just forgive myself in those cases, but I did a number on him this time. I know that the blush looked even more extreme than usual, but that is something that, you know, is mainly a symptom of the fact that I hadn't had any complexion product on yet. So, you know, take it with whatever grains of salt are available to you. But see, it's like kind of balancing it out a little bit. You're just kind of working backwards, and so you kind of have to reserve judgment, suspend disbelief a little bit. Oh God, though. That concealer is so good. It just, like, look at how it just blended that without really like giving it a different, it's still a skin texture, but that healing spot that I have. I've been getting really into facial devices though. Like, I don't know, as I'm about to turn 35, I find that I'm like digging back out all of my at-home, you know, anti-aging microcurrent devices, because it's like, just because I'm getting older doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop getting acne apparently. So, you know, I have different lights for different purposes and things like that, and they are very helpful. This is looking a little bit odd. I think that those colors are so saturated that like it was hard for me to control them. So do I have anything? I just have the lip balm left. Let's put on some bronzer and see if I can kind of finesse this a little bit and get it to a place where if I were doing my makeup in a different order, like in the order I typically do, I would have put my blush on, like felt more comfortable putting my blush on. So I'm just gonna go in with my Salt New York palette. And yes, the Sneaky Balm is on its way. Poor Kiki, sneaky Kiki, she's not sneaky, but she made the Sneaky Balm. Anyway, she got really sick like right at launch. And so, you know, she's kind of, I mean, she's not a one-woman operation, but it does very much hinge on her. And so she just texted me and said that PR was being sent out. All right, I'm determined to make this work here. I'm gonna go ahead and say, like, off the bat, it's not the easiest thing that I've ever done. And I probably could draw it like directly onto my face. I'm just gonna try it. That's gonna be so much. I have a feeling that's gonna be so much, but I wanna try it. I'm gonna grab my 101 from BK, my very typical blush brush, and just try and work that in with as little disturbance as possible. Actually, that works pretty well. I think that I got nervous because a lot of times these sorts of formulas, once they get on the skin, they kind of stamp and it's a lot of work to move them around. And so you end up kind of, you know, pushing a lot of product out of the way. These move really, really easily. And they're kind of low tech in that sense. Like they're just very balmy, dewy. And so when they do move, like they kind of stay movable, you know, you could powder them with something translucent and get a little bit more wear time out of it if you wanted to, but on their own, they're just not really designed to like have a dry down per se. Oh, that's the wrong one. Although, like, is that the worst thing in the world to use that as, you know, a little bit of like a balancing cream blush? Not at all. Especially because this one, the Perk shade, has opacity to it. The other two that I have are translucent. And so it's like, if I use that, that's gonna add like that little bit of opacity that makes it look a little more native on my skin. Look at that. Color theory. Now, did I, like, you know what I mean? Is there an easier way to skin the cat on this one? Absolutely. But, sorry, that's like probably not the greatest expression. Is there an easier way to get where we're going than mixing 3 colors on my face? Probably. But I definitely think that that mistake helped a lot. I still feel kind of like just oddly schlubby. Like, I just need brightening really badly. I'm also so hot. Oh my God, it's so hot in here. I'm gonna go in with some Tom Ford because I need some coverage and I'm just kind of trying to like navigate the situation here. I need just a touch, you know, of like that light brightness and that coverage, because it's not about going in and putting coverage all over my whole face every single time I do my makeup, but selectively adding that opacity makes it so that the stuff that I am trying to focus on, like my cheeks, are the star of the show instead of just being distracted by darkness and depth and stuff. So yeah, I kind of feel like, since this is a first impression, the color corrector is a little bit more of a blush on me, but like something that I won't mind having around in that respect, because it did such a good job of adding the necessary peachy dimension that I needed in order to make this look a lot more natural. Not like it was just like sitting on top of my skin. I still feel like it's just like not, it's just not looking better than the sum of its parts. You know, it just kind of looks like I did what I did. There's no magic yet. Let's put on a little bit more of that highlighter slash blush slash, you know, universal glow type thing. I'm gonna use that same little brush that I just tried to apply the blush with. Make sure that there's not a whole lot of anything on there. And like, maybe this stuff is kind of meant to be a little bit more, like the whole collection is supposed to be a little bit more like artistry oriented, like Danessa Myricks, you know? We're giving you colors and we're giving you textures and you're supposed to just put them together however you see fit. We're not gonna like give you rules, but it's just a different set of textures than like Danessa Myricks would make, you know? So, I like that. It's definitely still wet, which is kind of wild, you know? It's like if I were to like swipe, it would just completely like pull all my makeup off, which is a texture that I am over, you know? I'm like really, really tired of makeup that is just purely a cream and then it stays that way on my skin all day long. So I like things to have a little bit more technology in them than that, but I'm just going to do like a fast forward through the rest of my makeup and then I'll put the lip balm on and then we're gonna kind of deep dive on this brand because I really want to understand like what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. Cue the music. Okay. I really expected to gain more in that ceremony than I did, and I'm going to add just like a little more up here and here just to try and do something, anything, because I don't know why it just doesn't look right. I mean, I do know why, like what parts of my face don't look right. Like I don't understand why my face is just all over so pink. That's my main hang up right now. And I guess it's probably mainly because I don't have like a super like high coverage complexion product on and I just use that highlighter, but still I've added powder, I've added concealer, I've added color corrector. I've really tried to enhance my cheeks here. By the way, that was the Lisa Eldridge Liquid Lurex in Lauren. I did get Diana. I'm gonna do a full swatching video of all of them, but I ended up getting it sent to my mom's house. So I just like, it was just what was logged in my, you know, addresses. And so she was like, what is this? But I just went and visited her over the weekend and I got it back. So that is coming. And I then went in with some of the new Aether palette, this sunset shade right here, yeah, that's like pink and gold to kind of go over Lauren. And then I used a little bit of my Revlon Color Stay Cream Shadow in Chocolate. I tried to use their little brush that they provided, but it just wasn't like the right size for what I was trying to do. I might like it in another instance, but it wasn't big enough for my crease. But it was kind of too stumpy for anything else. At least in this look. I'm not saying it's like a bad brush. But when I find myself kind of having to keep balancing out the difference between right here. You know, it's like, okay, the blush keeps rubbing my concealer off, and then the concealer gets like cakey as I'm trying to kind of blend it over the blush. They just aren't agreeing right now. And I ended up like papering over basically that highlighter that I tried to put on because it, well, first of all, I just got too heavy-handed with my powder, but also it stayed so sticky. You know, there wasn't really any getting around it. So I feel very odd right now. It's a very, very strange face of makeup. Why won't anything stick right there? Like my contour pulled it back off. It's just, yeah. Okay, anyway, now we're going to go with some lip, and you know, even though I'm not a lip color person, I think that it would be an incomplete video if I didn't try to put something on my lips here. So, you know, I might mix the peach and the berry again. Amazing how matte that is. So I guess it's because I mixed it with the peachy shade. It is so dewy on my cheeks. It's really, really nice on the lips. I don't love the color, but I really like the consistency. And this does come in a lot of colors. I'm just gonna take a little more of that peach. That's a little bit better. And then they've got this balm that I'm hoping to love. Comes in a nice little aluminum container. You gotta punch through the lid like an ointment. Oh dear God. Oh, it's going everywhere. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. As I'm talking. As I put it on, I could see kind of granules suspended in it that needed to be broken down at the body temperature. And I can also feel the graininess. Not a huge fan of that feeling. Okay, so it's kind of taking off that pigment because it's super oily. It's like, you know, basically a makeup remover. So now that we've seen the color, I would say that those two things don't necessarily ideally mix because it just makes it all a little too movable. So just get most of that off, and I'll just go back in with a little bit of the balm as it just, you know, went all over the place. I have plenty to work with here. It's very warm in this room, so maybe that's why it's so molten. Not sure. I don't love the graininess though. This is such a bizarre looking face of makeup. Okay, I'm gonna move you guys back out and we're going to discuss what this brand is about, because I really want to like understand the angle that they're coming from in creating these products, and then maybe we can kind of, you know, contextualize my first impressions in a better way. Okay, so this is the current vibe. This is what I ended up with. Everything is very glossy. Like my hands feel very glossy and everything. Let's go on the Live Tinted website and just see what they say about their brand. Okay, so the Hue Stick in Perk was $24. Says an eye, lip, and cheek multi-stick that also balances out dark circles and dark spots. Buildable, blendable, weightless demi-matte color, easy to use, good for your skin. So it's just kind of meant to be everything that we used it for today. Basically, like, yeah, it's going to color correct, but you can use it other places too. That is part of a collection of those kinds of color corrector type shades. And then Purpose is a deep plum, and that one is, all of these are $24. Ultra creamy eye, lip, and cheek multi-stick. You know, they're not necessarily giving you any direction as to how to use it, but they also have like a black one. The onset of Live Tinted began when our founder, Deepica Mutyala, went viral with her red lipstick hack video. This video ignited Deepica's career in beauty and showed that we all have, I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on, that's why I'm like reading so weird, that we all have more in common than we realize. So, not black owned, but brown owned. This is definitely a brand created by and for people with a little bit more melanin than I have. A solution is born. We asked our community what their #1 beauty concern was. They told us hyperpigmentation, so we created the Hue Stick, a 4-in-1 multi-stick to be used as a color corrector to balance discoloration and dark spots under makeup. makeup and as an eyeshadow, blush, and lipstick. So we got tintorials, how to cover dark circles. So it's like, you know, color theory and stuff like that for different skin tones, which is cool. Let's see the FAQ here. What is a Hue Stick? Hue Stick is the first product to be released by Live Tinted and it is the first ever multi-stick and color corrector with added skincare. Hue Sticks are currently available in 5 color correcting shades: Found, Origin, Rise, Balance, and Perk. We launched 6 multi-stick shades that are the tint fam helped build: Free, True, Grounded, Change, and Kajal Legacy, Rich Black, and most recent shade, Purpose, Deep Plum, all of which are beautiful eye, lip, and cheek colors. So I could have used it on my eyes if I had wanted to, but these would definitely crease. Each Hue Stick is $24, but you can mix and match any 4 for $80. They're free of carmine. The Unity Balm is $20, all shine, no stick, ultra hydrating formula, uniting the conditioning benefits of a balm, the shine factor of a gloss. And finally, honestly, the product that I think is like the most fun is the Hue Glow, and this is $34. Glamour Beauty Award winner. An innovating serum meets moisturizer highlight where under, in, and over your face, makeup or slather onto your body, a multitasker with subtle yet impactful micro shimmer finish. Why I like this is just because it's incredibly hydrating. So, you know, it kind of leaves this almost like balmy, dewy glow on my skin, and used correctly, which would have been to use about half of what I used at first application, I think it would be a really, really great way to revive my skin before I put anything on there, you know, foundation or otherwise. You know, I don't necessarily want everything to have the same texture in my routine. Like something being dewy and something else being dewy, those are not necessarily like equally great in my eyes. Certain things should be dewy and certain things shouldn't. Yeah. So that appears to be the entire kit and caboodle on Live Tinted. Like I said, I bought these on Ulta, but I've been kind of seeing them everywhere. I actually got one of them on Credo and then the rest on Ulta. And I think that I'm ready to give you guys my final thoughts. So just jumping off with this, the Hue Glow, I really enjoy this. I'm going to keep using this because it's like incredibly lovely on the skin. It just has this really, really beautiful, nice, glossy, hydrating feeling on my skin without being like oily, greasy, you know? It's just feels healthy and my skin really needed that today. Regardless of how strangely I feel like this makeup look turned out, I do feel like we came a really long way from the very dehydrated complexion situation that I had going on today. I also think I stepped a little outside my comfort zone by just using this as my entire complexion and then just going in with like color correction and concealer on top. And that was probably why I spent so much time kind of finicking with my my concealer and stuff like that. But now that I understand how this works and how it behaves on my skin, I think I'm gonna get better and better at using it. It is an abundance of product. You get, I think, a full ounce in here. 1.7 ounces for your $34. So that is what? $20 an ounce. This one's definitely my favorite out of all of them. I think that it is like really, as shimmer goos go, it actually serves a really nice purpose. It's thinner than the Auric Glow Less. It doesn't have that kind of like really strong syrupy feeling on your skin, but it is thicker than like the Smashbox Halo, the hyaluronic acid illuminating moisturizer. It's like right there in the middle and it has more sheen. Has more sheen just overall. It's nice. So this is a yes for me, just, you know, obviously don't put too much on or you will look like a very rosy Tin Man. The lip balm is a total pass. As lip balms go, I do think that you're in like an ocean of competition and it needs to just blow my mind. And you know, it's unpleasantly gritty and there's not really much else to it. That's all. And then as far as their kind of star product here, these tinted Hue Sticks. Is that what they're called? Yes, Hue Sticks. So they have the color correction that's a little bit more opaque, and then they have these, you know, multi-sticks basically that are more translucent. It's a cool idea, beautiful packaging, pretty good delivery system, and also very, very pigmented for people who are, you know, annoyed by things being low pigment and not showing up on their skin. Makes sense that it is a non-white owned company because this is something that there is a hunger for in the industry, you know, things that just have a lot more saturation, a lot more pigment to them, and are translucent, have a translucent offering. The multi-sticks are translucent, so that's not going to leave any ashiness on anybody's skin. That said, I'm pretty unimpressed. Like, as someone who tries so much makeup, you're talking about a tinted cream at the end of the day. I mean, I wasn't very impressed with the Chanel ones either. You know, they were incredibly overpriced and very, very similar to this, just not really any technology other than an ease of application. You know, it's like, yeah, it has a creaminess, it has a pleasant consistency, it lends itself well to, you know, just applying onto the skin. But other than that, I just don't really see anything that sets these apart from other things. Even if we're talking about being in like a quote unquote clean formula, which I did not see, you know what I mean? I wasn't like looking that hard, but I didn't see them make any like really sweeping claims about like clean formulas or anything. So yeah, as far as a, you know, seems to be silicone free, balmy, multi-use color thing, we need a word for that because it's like shimmer goo. You know, we need just like a color balm. Like this is just a color balm. If that is thrilling to you and these colors are compelling to you and supporting the brand owner is important to you, compelling to you, you know, sure. But if this is just like, I'm coming to this completely cold like I did, and I want to know if this is worth my money above anything else, there's really no magic here. I feel no magic. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I just, you know, I'm always here to save you guys money. I'm gonna keep my eye on this brand because I do think that they have like an optimistic viewpoint. I think that they're headed in the right direction. This just doesn't feel incredibly special to me yet. And I don't want you guys like parting with your money thinking that it's going to be super special because I find them overall to be pretty dupeable. And even if I were like duping these shades, I would still want there to be some more intelligence built into the formula. You know, I would rather have like a Daniel Sandler that's going to actually dry down, a Lisa Eldridge that's going to dry down, Makeup by Mario or M Cosmetics that has just a little tiny bit more commitment to it, that goes on a lot more easily and has more saturation of the color. It's kind of funny. I'm going to get into like very, very semantical weeds here, but I talk about sometimes when liquid pigments are so difficult to spread, like in the case of an eyeshadow or a cream blush, that they won't easily feather at the edges. I like there to be some commitment on the skin and then for it to easily feather at the edges, but like there is another end of that spectrum, which is it feathers so much that you kind of can't get it to saturate, and that was the issue here. I could not get these cheek colors to build. They only really wanted to wash, and since there's no dry down and they are pretty slippy on the skin, I felt like it was hard to manipulate them without just taking them back off. So that just made it frustrating for me, and it's just something that I won't reach for again because of that. So the one smash is definitely the Hue Glow, and the rest is just kind of a pass for me. So I hope, if you guys were curious about this brand, that even if you disagree with me in the end, I hope that I provided enough visual confirmation of like why I made the decisions that I made so that you can decide whether it is for you and make very informed buying decisions for yourself. Don't let me be the final word on these things, but I hope that you found it above all helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you guys did. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!